Well, thank you so much, Senator Schiff, and we really do miss you over in the House, but we're so grateful that we continue to have champions like these that are standing with me in the Senate. And we promise that we will do everything that we can in our power in the House to combat these egregious pieces of legislation that are going forth so that we can save lives, because we know that we have our champions in the Senate, and we're grateful for you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am really honored to be with you today. I'd like to thank Senator Schiff and Senator Murphy, Senator Blumenthal, and Senator Padilla for their support for gun safety legislation in the Senate and for joining me here today. I also want to thank the more than 100 House members who have signed on as an original co-sponsors of our bill, and each of you who are here to cover today's reintroduction of this really critical and important legislation. At a time when we are fighting on countless fronts against attacks from the Trump administration, we must not lose focus on our mission to end gun violence here in America and to save lives. I came to Congress because I lost my son due to gun violence, the senseless act of gun violence. In my advocacy to prevent more of these tragedies from happening, I've met scores and scores and scores of survivors and heard story after story of the change that we need because of the carnage of assault weapons and the harm and the damage that they cause. All too frequently, these are the weapons of choice for school shooters in America, and they are disturbingly easy to access. This is uniquely an American problem. Assault weapons were designed for one purpose only: to carry out massive lethal attacks by sustained rapid-fire shooting in just a very short period of time. Truly, these are weapons of war made for simply the battlefield and not our streets, not our schools, not our communities. Too often, we hear from gun safety opponents that partisanship is what prevents us from reinstating an assault weapons ban. I'd like to remind those opponents that this is a policy on which President Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan shared the same opinion. Together with Gerald Ford, these former presidents wrote Congress in support of a federal assault weapons ban in May of 1994. And for the 10 years following, this country had a bipartisan assault weapons ban on the books, and it was working. We have the data to show that this policy saved lives. A 2019 study examined American mass shooting fatalities from 1981 to 2017. During the 10-year federal ban from 1994 to 2004, mass shooting fatalities, just as it was stated moments ago, were 70% less likely to occur. So why then do our Republican colleagues continue to refuse to act? Is the campaign support from the NRA worth more than the lives of the very constituents that they swore an oath to protect and serve? Is fear of a political challenge an unacceptable answer to give to grieving parents who have lost their children in a school shooting? I challenge those who believe that this epidemic of gun violence is too great a challenge for our deliberative body to solve. The Republican majority has been mum in response to more than 100 daily gun deaths in our country. More than 100 people in this country die every single day, and they are silent. And they have continued to dig their heels in the ground while our families continue to be ripped apart. We owe it to the American people to seek solutions to this problem, to seek solutions to their pain and to the carnage and to the broken families and the broken communities. Not hide behind the gun lobby and its waning influence. As we reintroduce this legislation today, we will continue to advocate for banning assault weapons to every legislator on this Hill who will listen. And for those who refuse to listen, don't worry, we are not backing down. We know that a majority of the American people are on our side. The polling, the data, the research shows that. As long as these weapons of war remain a threat to our children and our classrooms and innocent civilians in grocery stores and civilians in our movie theaters and those in our houses of worship, I refuse to stay quiet. I owe my son that legacy. And for all the families like myself that have lost loved ones due to the carnage of gun violence, I promise you, we will never back down and we will never stop fighting for you.